Abandoned towns have always been the perfect setting for horror movies. Places once filled with laughter and life, now hauntingly silent, frozen in time. In the corners of these ghostly cities, you can still see traces of a world that used to thrive. A rusted swing, a broken sign, a window left half open, as if someone might return any moment. Some were destroyed by nature's wrath. Others fell silent after war, disaster, or reasons no one can truly explain. Once symbols of progress and prosperity, they now stand as eerie reminders of how fragile human civilization really is. Today we're taking you on a chilling journey to explore 10 of the most breathtaking abandoned places on Earth, from sunken cities to desert towns swallowed by sand, from frozen Soviet relics to tropical ruins overgrown with vines. Each one tells a story of dreams, decay, and the unstoppable power of time. Top 10. Burj Al Babas, Turkey. In the quiet valleys of central Turkey, thousands of identical castle-like villas stand in eerie silence. Each one was built to resemble a European fairy tale palace, with pointed towers, arched balconies, and pale stone walls gleaming under the sun. It was meant to be a paradise for the wealthy, a dream destination of luxury and grandeur. But before the dream could come true, the money ran out. Developers went bankrupt, construction stopped overnight, and the fairy tale froze in time. Now, these ghostly castles stretch endlessly across the hills, their empty windows staring into the distance like the hollow eyes of forgotten giants. From above, the scene looks surreal. Hundreds of miniature palaces, perfectly aligned, standing still under a gray, silent sky. Burj Al Babas was supposed to be a fairy tale come to life. Instead, it became a haunting monument to human greed and broken dreams. Top 9. Ross Island, Andaman Islands, India. Once upon a time, Ross Island was the shining jewel of the British Empire in the Indian Ocean, a paradise of colonial mansions, churches, and grand ballrooms. This tiny island served as the British administrative headquarters for nearly a century, governing the entire Andaman archipelago with authority and pride. But in 1942, everything changed. World War II reached the Indian Ocean, and Japanese forces invaded the island. The British fled, leaving behind their empire's tropical jewel. When the war ended, the British never returned. One by one, the buildings began to crumble. Walls collapsed, roofs decayed, and silence replaced the sound of music and command. Then, nature took over. Massive banyan trees grew through the floors, their roots breaking apart the red brick walls, their branches wrapping every building in a living shroud. Today, Ross Island is no longer a symbol of power, but of surrender. A reminder that even empires fall, and nature, patient and relentless, always wins in the end. Under the dappled sunlight and the whispering leaves, the ruins of Ross Island stand quietly, a haunting monument to the rise and fall of human ambition. Top 8. Fordlandia, Brazil. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest lies a forgotten dream of the industrial age. In the 1930s, Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motor Company, set out to create a perfect American city in the jungle. He called it Fordlandia, a utopia of order, efficiency, and modern living built thousands of miles away from Detroit. Ford wanted to control his own supply of rubber to fuel the booming automobile industry. He imagined tidy streets, neat houses, and happy workers living by the ideals of small-town America. But the jungle had other plans. Tropical diseases spread among the workers. The harsh heat, the insects, and the unfamiliar culture turned the dream into chaos. Locals rebelled against the strict American rules. No alcohol, no music, no local food. Within a few years, Fordlandia collapsed. Factories stood empty, houses were abandoned, and the rainforest slowly began to reclaim everything. Today, vines crawl over the rusting machines, roots crack through the concrete streets, and the sound of the jungle has replaced the hum of engines. Fordlandia remains a haunting reminder that not every dream of progress can survive nature's will. It stands silent, a monument to ambition, failure, and the unstoppable power of the wild. Top 7. Kayaköy, Turkey. High in the hills of southwestern Turkey, a silent village lies frozen in time. Once known as Levisi, Kayaköy was home to thousands of Greek families who lived here for centuries, their stone houses clinging to the mountainside, their churches echoing with laughter and prayer. But in 1923, history tore the village apart. After the Greco-Turkish War, a massive population exchange forced the Greek residents to leave, and the Turkish refugees who were meant to replace them never came. The empty houses stood waiting, but no one returned. Then, years later, a powerful earthquake struck, shattering what little remained. Since then, Kayaköy has stood deserted, its windows hollow, its walls fading beneath the sun. Today, hundreds of gray stone homes still cling to the hills, their roofs gone, their rooms filled with silence. Only the wind and the call of distant birds move through the ruins like ghosts of the past. Kayaköy is more than a ghost village. It is a monument to displacement, to the loss of home, and to the fragile ties that bind people to the land they love. Top 6. Maunsell Forts, United Kingdom. Rising out of the gray waters of the North Sea, the Maunsell Forts look like something from another world, a haunting reminder of a war long past. Built during World War II, these massive steel towers once stood as London's first line of defense. Perched miles off the coast, each fortress was armed with heavy guns and radar, guarding the skies against Nazi aircraft. Hundreds of soldiers lived here, isolated at sea for months, their world surrounded by nothing but wind, waves, and fear. But when the war ended, the forts were abandoned, their purpose gone. Left to the mercy of the sea, they began to rust, crumble, and decay. The waves battered their iron legs, and the cries of seagulls replaced the sound of gunfire. Today, the Maunsell Forts still stand in eerie silence, their corroded frames rising like ghosts above the waves. Photographers, adventurers, and drone pilots now come to capture them. These lonely monuments to human ingenuity and the futility of war. Half fortress, half relic, they remind us that even the strongest structures cannot stand forever against the relentless sea of time. Top 5. Pyramiden, Arctic Circle, Svalbard, Norway. Far beyond the Arctic Circle, where the sun disappears for months and the air itself freezes, lies Pyramiden, the northernmost ghost town on Earth. Once a proud Soviet mining settlement, Pyramiden was built in the 1940s as a symbol of Soviet strength and endurance. Families lived here in the shadow of icy mountains, where even in endless winter nights the community thrived, complete with a school, a theater, a sports hall, and a statue of Lenin watching over the town square. But when the Soviet Union collapsed in the 1990s, the dream of Pyramiden crumbled with it. The mine closed, the workers left, and the Arctic slowly began to reclaim what was hers. Snow buried the streets, windows shattered under frost, and silence fell over the once bustling town. Today, Pyramiden remains astonishingly intact, a frozen snapshot of another era. Desks still hold notebooks, pianos still sit in empty halls, and Lenin still stands, facing north, as if waiting for the return of a country that no longer exists. It is a time capsule in ice, a place where history and isolation merge, reminding us how even the mightiest ideologies can vanish beneath the snow. Top 4. Hashima Island, Japan. Just off the coast of Nagasaki lies a place unlike any other, a concrete fortress rising from the sea, known to the world as Hashima Island, or more hauntingly, Battleship Island. In the early 20th century, Hashima was one of Japan's most advanced and densely populated industrial sites. Built entirely on reclaimed land, it became a booming coal mining hub that powered Japan's modernization. Thousands of workers, men, women, even children, lived crammed into towering apartment blocks surrounded by concrete walls and endless smoke. Life was harsh, but the island never slept, a self-contained city of steel, fire, and ambition. Then everything changed. As petroleum replaced coal in the 1970s, Hashima's purpose vanished overnight. The mine shut down, the workers left, and the island, once a symbol of progress, was abandoned to the wind and waves. Today, its skeletal buildings still stand, crumbling and silent, their broken windows staring blankly out to sea. Nature is slowly reclaiming the ruins. Vines creep along the walls, and seabirds nest in the empty rooms once filled with human life. Hashima feels like a world frozen between past and future, part monument, part nightmare. It's no wonder filmmakers chose it as the villain's lair in the James Bond film Skyfall. A place once built by human hands now belongs entirely to ghosts and the sea. Top 3, Varosha, Cyprus. Once the crown jewel of the Mediterranean, Varosha was a playground for the world's rich and famous. In the early 1970s, this coastal district of Famagusta was the most glamorous resort in Cyprus, a place where golden beaches met luxury hotels and celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor and Brigitte Bardot basked in the sun. But paradise didn't last. In 1974, when war broke out between Greece and Turkey, the Turkish army advanced on Famagusta. Tens of thousands of residents fled overnight, leaving behind homes, cars, and half-finished cocktails on hotel tables. The entire area was fenced off by the military. No one was allowed to return. And so Varosha became a city trapped in time. For decades, the streets remained eerily silent. Shop windows still displayed 1970s fashion, and hotel lobbies gathered dust beneath fading chandeliers. Nature crept in. Palms and weeds cracked through the pavement. Sea turtles nested on empty beaches once crowded with tourists. Only in recent years has the fence begun to open, revealing a haunting world frozen for half a century. Walking through Varosha today feels surreal, like stepping into a photograph left too long in the sun. It is a ghost city where beauty and tragedy coexist, a chilling reminder of how quickly human paradise can turn into a memory behind barbed wire. Top 2, Kolmanskop, Namibia. In the endless golden expanse of the Namib Desert lies a ghost town swallowed by wind and sand, Kolmanskop, a place now sleeping beneath the dust of time. In the early 1900s, German colonists accidentally discovered diamonds here. Countless fortune seekers poured into the desert, and within just a few years, this barren wasteland transformed into a city of luxury. Ballrooms, hospitals, casinos, even an ice factory. Everything existed here, and it even boasted Africa's very first electric tram. In this sea of sand, human greed and desire once gleamed as brightly as the diamonds beneath their feet. But prosperity never lasts. When World War I broke out and the diamond mines ran dry, the illusion of wealth shattered overnight. New, richer deposits found farther south made this place worthless in an instant. Miners left, merchants withdrew, and only the wind remained, whistling through empty houses, carrying away the last echoes of human life. Decades passed, and the desert reclaimed what once belonged to it. Sand poured through broken windows, filling bedrooms and hallways like a silent funeral, bearing both human arrogance and dreams. Today, sunlight filters through shattered glass, casting golden waves across the ruins. The once glorious past now stands frozen in time, its surreal beauty earning it the name, the Desert Mirage City. Kolmanskop is more than just a forgotten town. It is a monument to human greed, a reminder that when resources run dry, all grandeur turns to dust, and only the wind and sand endure forever. Top 1. Villa Epecuén, Argentina. Once a thriving lakeside resort, Villa Epecuén in Argentina was known for its healing waters and bustling tourism. Founded in the 1920s, the town attracted thousands of visitors each year who came to bathe in its mineral-rich lake. Believed to have therapeutic powers. Elegant hotels, cafes, and shops lined the streets until one tragic day changed everything. In 1985, after days of relentless rain, a nearby dam broke. A massive wave of salt water flooded the town, swallowing homes, cars, and memories beneath nearly 10 meters of water. Within hours, Villa Epecuén was gone, completely submerged, erased from the map. For more than 25 years, the lake kept its secret. Then, slowly, the waters receded, revealing a ghostly landscape. What emerged was surreal, houses covered in salt crystals, twisted metal frames and leafless trees frozen in white. It looked like a world sculpted by both beauty and destruction. Today, Villa Epecuén stands as a chilling reminder of nature's unstoppable force, and how fragile human ambition can be in its path. Every abandoned place holds a story, of dreams once built and lives long forgotten. These silent ruins remind us that nothing lasts forever, yet their beauty still echoes through time.